I'm Elaine Jagelski, and one of the common questions that many people have is, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And the answer is fairly complex. However, the short answer, the gist of it is you're here to have experiences. Now, those are going to be in line with whatever your life themes are. And so those might not always be obvious to a person until they start looking at what has their life been like? What are some of the major situations that they have found themselves in? And so often that will give clues in regard to what is your theme. And the reason that you're having the human experience is because your soul has choice, it has intentions, and it wants to have a particular kind of experience to understand and to know itself better, to learn, to grow, to expand. And so you, as the crystalline version, the expression of that soul, is here to actually experience. And so you are here to both be the fullness of who you are, of that soul expression with the go-between, if you like, of your higher self, and then to put into action the inspirations that you receive from your higher self. And so when you're looking at themes, for example, or trying to understand what's my purpose, why am I here, once again, know that it goes back to the important part is that you are having experiences. And as far as, are those the experiences that are really fulfilling my purpose? Then the question to ask is, how do I feel about the things that I'm choosing to do? Do they delight me? Do they bring me joy, happiness, interest, curiosity? Those are the things then that you know you're heading on the right track, that you are fulfilling your purpose, if you like, or you're taking steps toward expressing that even more so. If you are feeling negatively in any way, whatever that might be, then, or whatever type of negative emotion, then you are trying to separate yourself. You're usually not doing that consciously, but you're trying to become separate from your higher self and your soul's intentions and choices and so on. Now, of course, you're the wild card, and so you get to make those kinds of choices as far as whether you want to feel what we would term more negatively or more positively. And they're all useful experiences. Now, as the human being, sometimes that's hard to accept, that, well, all experiences are useful and valid, and not to judge them. Because, of course, we want things that feel more pleasant. And that can be a good rule of thumb in regard to the choices that you make. What is this experience going to allow me to feel? Or how will I feel by pursuing this choice? And so should I take a new job? Should I leave this current one? Or should I pursue this hobby or this interest? And so going back to, how does that feel? Now, in the moment, it may not be practical to immediately switch gears and go, I'm quitting my job and I'm just going to hope that the thing that feels the best is going to come along. As human beings, we do have that practical aspect, and you want to be sure that your belief systems can support the change. So if the belief system still supports where you were, and even though there's this drive, this wanting of something different, but it hasn't shifted to supporting where you're going, then it could be a tumultuous time. It could be unpleasant. Again, not to judge it if that's the choice that's made. However, we can make choices that feel smoother, that allow for more pleasant experiences as we travel along the path to expressing ourselves more fully and really understanding what our life themes are and living what we would think of as our purpose. But just know that every choice is valid and every choice is important, whether it feels pleasant or unpleasant. However, to live a life that feels more fulfilling, that just feels good, and where you're feeling the passion and the excitement and the interest. And so in turn, what that indicates is that you are connected, that you are more consciously connected with your higher self and your soul, and by feeling that way, because that is the frequency of those energies. And so to do your best to make choices that have that feeling associated with them.